Coming to you live on location, this is the Between the Benches podcast, where we will discuss anything and everything hockey related. Let's drop the puck and get the action underway. All right, what's going on, everybody? We're a foursome tonight for the first time, I think, in a long time.
A thruple no more.
We are. That's right. We've upgraded from a thruple to a foursome. So shout out to Skyline, by the way. It's been a minute since I've had it, but we are the Between the Benches podcast. We're brought to you by the Old City Sports Network. Check out oldcitysportsnetwork.com for all of your Philadelphia news, podcasts, blogs, and everything in between. Make sure you use the promo code OldCity for 15% off site-wide. As always, it's your host, Dak. Hope everybody's enjoying their evening. Unfortunately, life has become meaningless, and there's no more hockey games until October. I guess September if you want to count preseason. But
no, we're not going to.
No, we're not going to. I didn't think so. But as always, it's the band. We have 5-pin missing Graham Faw, and we have big headed Eddie Brock Finch. Fellas, how are we?
Worse now.
I feel giddier. I feel a little giddier all of a sudden. It's just like backhanded compliments are in the air.
Yes. Just another episode, just another day, baby. And then we're joined by I was gonna say we're joined by a very, very, very special guest.
Oh, please, come on!
It is the myth, the man, the legend. You can check out his streams as well on Twitch, Instagram, everything in between. We have Cody France joining us.
Nice.
Correspondent, Dallas Homer. Cody, how are we?
Yep, I'm doing better now. Y'all treat me like I'm some living legend. Y'all can't. You're gonna boost my ego. Y'all gotta be careful.
Just wait.
I was gonna say we're hoping your ego's not the only thing we make big, but we're happy to have you. So, we will get right into the action this evening. Thanks again for joining us. We're gonna go. Absolutely. We're going to go around the rink. This is sponsored by ironsteelthreads.com. Make sure to check out ironsteelthreads.com. All the great hoodies, shirts, other apparel. They got new designs every month. They're made here in the States, and you can use the promo code OldCity10 for 10% off. And part of your proceeds or spending will actually go back to youth hockey organizations. So people helping people, and that's what we're here for. But the big reason why we brought Cody on tonight, guys, is the Dallas Hoedown. So Dallas officially signed Matt Duchene to a 4-year, $18 million contract. The AAV of that is $4.5 million. He is a 34-year-old player coming off a point-per-game regular season in 2025. He had 82 points in 82 games, added 6 more in the playoffs in 18 playoff games. So right off the bat, Cody, we'll jump right into it, man. What was your first reaction when you heard what went down this afternoon with Matt Duchene?
I was actually really surprised because I figured their UFA priority would be Mikael Granlund, and that was kind of already out there. But the first thing, that was my first thought. The second thought that came to my mind was that is the exact same contract that Mason Marchment is on, and it was the exact same dollars, the exact same years. And I thought, because Marchment's name's been out there, and it immediately clicked like, oh, they're going to do the swap. They're going to, move Marchment out, but just replace his money with Duchene. And it's exactly what they did about an hour ago, traded Marchment. So, I actually like the deal. I know some people are kind of against it because of the playoff struggles, which I do think is an issue, but I'm willing to wait to get a new coach in here and just kind of see how maybe that plays out. But for 82 points, point per game, like you guys said, at that dollar amount, it's tough to hate it. Even if he is just a regular season guy for that kind of money and that value, like it's not a bad deal at all.
You need players to get you to the playoffs. Like my initial thought was, I want to dunk on it because he vanishes every year in the playoffs and he doesn't really play a playoff style brand of hockey. But that being said, if you want to go glass half full, you do need people to get you there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Graham, did you have any reaction to Matt Duchene returning with the Stars?
Anytime someone signed that late in their career, I have question marks. Mm-hmm. Matt Duchene's known for his legs and his speed. And as long as he still has those, he's going to be very effective. But I fear that with the old age, if he loses those, what good is he? Can he be a role player without his legs?
4 years is a lot, but that number, especially with the cap exploding, I think that's going to be maybe like, I don't know, definitely less than 4% in a like short order, like less than 4% of your cap. It's not going to be long before it's maybe even 3% or 2.5%. It's not much.
But
definitely a
he's
good
definitely
business.
been a great fit for the Dallas Stars too.
Absolutely.
It's definitely a good business decision, good business move for sure. We do have Cam Ward fan in the chat. He wanted to give us the final goal total for the postseason, by the way. So what's up, boys? The final goal total was 534. He'll be calculating goals for just a second. So right here, he had 5.5 goals per game, and that was a 96 games total. So
wow, it got over 5.
Almost 5.5, almost 6.
That's what I mean. Like, I bet you if we did that exercise for years prior, I don't know if it's over 5.
I mean, the 2 highest scoring teams made the finals. That's got to inflate the numbers.
But usually as the playoffs go on, scoring dips, scoring goes down, the games get tighter. So that's why I find that interesting, because the final was pretty high scoring for the most part. I mean, one team scored a lot for the most part.
One thing I was surprised with that playoff series is I really thought like the longer that series went, the tighter the games were going to be, and it just seemed like it did just the opposite. Like Florida just ran away with it and they dominated.
We're getting ahead of ourselves, boys. Save it.
We're
transitioning. We're transitioning.
All right.
We're so itching to talk about it.
That's okay. That's okay. Well, I'm glad you brought up the other part of that Dallas hoedown, Cody, and that was that Mason Marchment, literally like a half hour before we jumped on here, was dealt to the Seattle Kraken. The Kraken gave up a 4th round pick in 2025 and then added a 3rd rounder in 2026. Is there a winner in that trade? I mean, I almost feel like to get 2 assets back from Marchment is a huge win for Dallas.
Oh, as soon as I saw it, I loved it just because, like, Dallas, what are we at? Like 400 grand for cap space. And, the whole league knows that they're up against it, so to get really anything back from Marchment was kind of a surprise to me, especially a couple of nice late round picks, which I would not be surprised, by the way, if they take one of those and flip them with Dumba as a cap dump or something along those lines. So keep an eye out for that. I think it's a good deal for both sides too, but I guess so, but I don't know. The thing with Seattle, I love Seattle. They're just so painfully mid, and it hurts. Like, it hurts, man. Like Marchment's good, and he's a good player, and he'll be good for them. But it's like they just got so many players like that. They don't have any guys and no dogs, right?
100%. Graham,
I think their average forward for Seattle is like $5 million.
Yeah.
So 4.5, is that a bargain?
Well,
right there. It's right there.
Like, you're right. Graham really is just the king of kicking people out of down.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, just the fucking king. Like, I don't know. I like this deal. It's funny. Most people, like most players that Seattle adds, I squint at and go, nah, I kind of like it for them. But they stay where they are every single time. They don't improve. I think they improve, but they never seem to improve. So I don't know what to make of it. I really like Mason Marchment. So if I had to pick a winner, I'd actually pick Seattle because they got the player. I'm a big Mason Marchment fan. He's a fuck, and he's gonna put the puck in the net still. So that's a good. I think it's a good deal for Seattle. But the cap space isn't nothing. Depends on what they do with it. I think that Dallas's main priority should be, right-handed defenseman. But that's just me.
You would be correct.
Aside from that, I don't know. Mm-hmm. Good trade for both teams. I think Seattle wins by a bit.
Okay.
They're definitely betting on the win now. If they're replacing Duchene.
100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely right. I think it's go ahead, sir.
No, I just think it's great as a fan base as you see your team going all in the moment.
Yeah.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And I do like it for Seattle too, because like Marchment does have that like fuck you to his game, right? And maybe, I think maybe in a different style, maybe he can show that more, where it was kind of, I think, they never like to really, push around too many teams, which I think you kind of saw the Edmonton series too. They kind of got pushed around, and I think maybe in a new style, with a new coach, Dallas is never really like that. So maybe it could be a good fit for him.
Yep. He's 6'5" every time he touches the ice.
Yeah, that's crazy. So he's a big boy. He's definitely going to bring some physicality to Seattle.
6'5"? I did not know that.
Oh, yeah. He's big boy. Yep.
He's massive. He's a mountain of a man.
Yep.
I did not know that.
So it'll be interesting to see moving forward with Dallas who their head coach is. I think that's probably the biggest fish they need to fry moving forward before they even worry about that.
Well, no, didn't they hire another Leafs guy, Lane Lambert? Is that right?
No, he went to the Islanders, I think.
No, he came from the Islanders to the assistant coach in Toronto. I think they hired Lane Lambert as their head coach. I'm like 99% sure of this.
Dallas?
Yeah. No. Seattle.
Okay.
Yes, that is correct. They did hire
Yeah,
him.
sorry. There's the disconnect. There's the disconnect. I'm like, whoa.
I was like, yo, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Got me excited for a second.
I'm not breaking news. Sorry.
Okay.
sorry.
No, not yet. I don't have the button for that yet. So, but yeah, like I said, it will be interesting moving forward to see what happens there. We have to transition into Sutherland here. So the Senators also got an extension. Zetterlund, right? Yeah. Okay. Zetterlund. Whatever.
Sutherland.
Whatever. Kelly Sutherland. That's what I was thinking. But anyway, Zetterlund gets a deal. So Fabian Zetterlund, right?
Fabian.
Nice.
Fabian. Okay.
I still liked it. I liked it.
I'll get there. I'll get there one day. It'll be all right. So anyway, Zetterlund gets a 3-year, $12.825 million deal with an average annual value of $4.275 million. The 25-year-old who was acquired from the Sharks in the deadline last year had 41 points, 19 goals, 22 assists in 84 games this past season for the Sens. That's right. He played 84 games last year in the regular season, which is kind of fun. But guys, Brock, you can go first here. Is this a good move for the Senators, or any kind of feelings you have toward this?
I haven't had the chance to talk with my cousin, who's my resident Sens homer, so I don't really have a homer's take on this yet. But on the outside looking in, I don't hate it. I mean, I really liked what they produced with the Sharks, and I think he fit in well as a middle six kind of winger for them. I don't think he plays center at all, so I think he's exclusively a winger. I could be wrong on that. I don't know. It's kind of a okay deal. Again, like the $4 million in 3 years is going to be next to nothing on the cap. So I don't know. I think it's a savvy move for a reliable forward who can play in your top six when needed, but I think is more suited to a middle six kind of role. I don't know. Am I out to lunch on this? It's kind of a vanilla signing to me. I don't know.
It's a signing that exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
He's a guy you think of with depth scoring, going down the lineup. If you see someone in a middle six role put up 20 goals, that's what I see Zetterlund as.
Yeah.
And so, okay. I mean, what the Panthers did this year, you need depth if you're going to win cup.
Yeah.
So inking someone in for cheap, I think it's a great move for the Senators, and they're going to move forward with a stronger forward group this next season.
No, 100%. They're definitely one of the teams on the up and up, if you will, moving forward. Speaking of on the up and up, somebody's coming on the up and up in their coaching career, and that is Nick Bonino. So Nick Bonino announced on Wednesday that he is officially retiring. The two-time Stanley Cup champion with the Pittsburgh Penguins. He spent the last season playing in Slovenia. He did announce that he will be hanging up professional hockey for good, but he is joining the Penguins organization as a coach. I could not figure out specifically what kind of coach he is going to be, whether it's just an assistant or if he's going to run a specific part of the team, like power play, penalty kill, whatever the case may be. Cody, why isn't he the head coach of the Dallas Stars?
Probably because he traumatized us in 2014 with Anaheim and scored a couple of heartbreakers. I don't know if y'all actually know this, but 2014 first round, he scored a couple of big goals. One of the goals to tie it, and then the overtime one. So my first hockey heartbreak as a child. So
nice. There it is. I was going to say, I didn't remember this, but somebody's still scarred.
Very, very respectfully, in the most nicest and respectful way possible. Fuck Nick Bonino.
Nice. Okay.
In a very good way, in in a respectful way.
Yeah. Well, it'd be interesting to see him join Dan Muse's staff. I'm sure he feels like a Dan Muse kind of guy. He kind of, he's got the beard for it anyway to be a Dan Muse, like lace him up, get physical kind of guy. Anybody else got anything to add to this before we move on?
I don't think so.
It's not an internal hire, but it feels like an internal hire, because he was a part of the Penguins Cups. And, he went back to Pittsburgh in 2023. So it feels like an internal hire, but he's kind of been all over the league. So
do you think Crosby will call him sir?
Probably already did.
No. If Crosby either calls everyone sir or nobody sir.
Okay.
That is his choice.
I would, I was going to say, but you can call me whatever you want, Mr. Crosby. I frankly don't care. We don't care.
As long as you're here and playing well.
It's nice to, be in the same room as you. That's
nice. Okay.
Thanks for putting my name on the cup.
Yeah,
exactly.
Now go beg skate. How's that going to work?
Exactly. Oh, man. Well, there it is. Well, another thing we had to get into that was brought out to everybody's attention this week, we had to get our thoughts to Roman Josi. So he's diagnosed with POTS. Last time he was seen in a game was February 25th. He left a game after being boarded by, I got boarded by guess else. Nobody would ever guess this coming, but Sam Bennett, shocker, put Josi in the boards. Unfortunately, that kind of ended his season. In case you're not familiar with POTS is a condition where a change in posture from lying down to standing causes abnormal increase in heart rate, causing dizziness, lightheadedness, and fatigue. So definitely something to kind of watch and monitor as we continue into next year. But Barry Trotz did come out and say the 35-year-old captain is expected to join Nashville at training camp this coming fall. Do we see this as a go ahead, Brock. You got your hand up. I like this.
Is this curable? Or is this just something he's going to have to live with?
So it's as far as all the reading I did, it was a condition. So I have no idea if it is like reversible or goes away or whatever.
Come on. I thought you had your fucking MD.
Well, if you can, because I'm not a doctor. I'm not sure, but I do know a lot of people do struggle with POTS. But it's just interesting that the Predators kind of announced this, or that the news kind of broke out on this just this week.
POTS is not curable, but the symptoms can be managed with medication and lifestyle changes. You
know what's interesting? Those symptoms are a direct consequence for most people on blood pressure medication. Those are the direct things. If you go up too quickly, you'll get literally all of those same things. So it's interesting that there's a drug you can take that can cause those symptoms, but not a drug you can take to erase those symptoms. I don't know. That just popped into my head.
Yeah, no, that's very true. And I mean, you'd be the guy to know. You and
sure
one
would.
hip and all. So
absolutely.
So thoughts and prayers. Shout out to Roman Josi. Hope he has a safe recovery and everything in between dealing with that. And then the last piece of news we have before we get into what everybody came here for, Graham's favorite player, Erik Haula, shipped to Nashville. Guess what? He doesn't have to lose to the Hurricanes again in the playoffs this coming season, which I guess he still could, right? If they get beat in the
on the table.
They still could, Stanley Cup final. Anyway, but Erik Haula was shipped out from New Jersey to Nashville in exchange for defenseman Jeremy Hansel and a fourth-round pick in the 2025 NHL draft. Haula is entering the last year of a 3-year deal. He signed with the Devils with an average annual value of $3.15 million. Guys, is this just Nashville trying to be the oldest team in the league by like a landslide? Is that why they even took this deal to begin with? That's the only thing I could think of.
Kind of. I don't understand.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I don't get it.
No.
I don't really have anything else to give on that subject. Like, this is a nothing trade, and I don't understand why it was made.
Actually,
just the comments on it were weird by Trotz. Go ahead, Cody.
I'll add something to this. This is what Trotz's second year as GM or something around that.
Yeah.
When do we start to question Barry Trotz?
Oh, like 8 months ago. Bro, he's already on watch for me. Like every move he's made has been
right.
Wait,
well, we've agreed on paper early on.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Just because you're a great coach doesn't mean you're a great
agreed
manager of contracts.
You should also know who to fit in the room.
Oh, I don't think this is a room problem, though. I think this is literally an on-ice product
what a team's
problem.
Need is, and you can recognize like a plug-and-play system, and he's missed.
I was going to say, so Stamkos, Marcia show, those are Barry Trotz guys? The fuck they are?
No. The Haula signing, all I see is Nashville does not trust their young guys, and so they get another vet.
I mean, Haula
I don't think it makes
center.
A real difference. I would rather see the young guys struggle than a vet just being mediocre.
Maybe.
It's not like Nashville's making a run for the cup. So why not let the young guys play?
Are they? What's their direction? What's their direction? I don't know their direction. I genuinely don't. I have no fucking clue. And that's why this trade confuses me even more, because are you trying to get better or worse? Because I think it makes sense for both. It really does depend. Like Erik Haula doesn't move the needle. He can play center in a pinch, which they desperately need centers. Ryan O'Reilly, I'm sorry. Love the man. You're past your prime. But on a cup contending team, he is not your first line center. And he is their first line center, their best center by a friggin' mile.
He is a first ballot Hall of Famer, though. So
well, allegedly.
There's a good case there to be made.
Yeah,
actually.
I'll argue until I'm dead. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Out of spite.
Literally, just because. But no, definitely outside of like this being a salary cap for New Jersey, a salary dump. That's seemed what this is what this meant to be too, because they don't have a first round pick this year in the draft. Which, by the way, we're doing a live stream next Friday. If you're happy to join us, please do. But other than that, I mean, is there really anything else here? I mean, I just thought Barry Trotz's. I agree, but I just thought Barry Trotz's comments were odd too, just because he was like, "Yeah, Haula's going to bring some versatility and movement of play to this team that we don't have already." And I'm like, you're banking like a 33-year-old to bring that to you. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see. Let's get into what we came here for, and that is the Ice Cats. The Ice Cats go back to back. This segment is brought to you by decalsbyaaron.com. Make sure to check out our buddy Aaron over at decalsbyaaron.com. Let him know that Between the Benches sent you. Where do you want to start, fellas? Other than the Florida Panthers win the Cup on home ice for the second straight season, they defeat Edmonton 4-2 in the series. They take Game 6 5-1, and yeah, I mean, go ahead, Graham. You had a fun stat here that I like.
Well, for the fourth straight year, the Edmonton Oilers have lost the eventual Stanley Cup champions. 2022 Colorado, 23 Vegas, 24 and 25 Florida Panthers.
The Leafs have already done that like 6 times in the last 9 years. So
Dallas has too, actually.
Yeah, it's not mathematically possible, but whatever. We're both making up stats.
Everyone tries to make their team look better.
Yeah.
Sam Reinhart did have 4 goals in Game 6. He is the first player to score 4 goals in a Stanley Cup Final Series clinching game since Babe Dye in 1922. So basically 100 years since that happened. Since you brought the Leafs too, I had a fun Leaf stat for you. So Sam Bennett had more goals in one game, that being 4, than Austin Matthews did this entire postseason at 3. And that was your Leaf stat of the week, brought to you by yours truly. Sam Bennett was the Conn Smythe Trophy winner. Some stats on Florida, by the way. Were we surprised from the Conn Smythe perspective that it was Sam Bennett?
I don't think so.
I wanted Marchand. My betting money was basically
the votes? Do we see who was second, third? Did they ever release those?
I'm sure
Bobrovsky was second. I think Bobrovsky was second.
No way.
I think so.
I had a top 3. I had
I had Marchand as 2 for me.
It was Marchand. It was Marchand.
Yeah, I was going to say, I had Marchand as 2 for me.
100%, yeah. I think even betting had that. Like, I think it was Bennett was minus money, Marchand was plus money, like plus 240, and then Bob Titsky was third at like plus 400 or something like that.
Titsky, nice.
So, thank you.
I have the results if you want them.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sam Bennett finished with 76 points. Marchand finished with 68. Bobrovsky 10. Draisaitl 7, and Gustav Forsling with 1 third-place vote.
Nice. Shout out to him. He had a hell of a playoff series. That's for sure.
I can link this and send it to you if anybody wants to see it. And it's got the list of the voters, their outlet, where they work, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's all documented.
So it was closer than I gave it credit for.
Yeah,
that's why when we were talking about it on the phone when the game was going on, I'm like, I think Marchand's like, it wasn't by a landslide in my head. I'm glad the voters agree. He had a 6 Stanley Cup final. Say it however you like, Graham. Graham is one of these guys. He tries to make Game 1 of the first round the same as Game 7 of the final. Like, he tries to make sure those are the same level of everything. Like, they're the same. They're just a win or a loss. Whereas, like, his performance in the final has to have more weight. Those games mean more. They do. They just do. Like, I don't know how else to frame that to you. What do you guys think?
I guess I'll jump in here. Yeah, I don't know. Like McDavid, like I don't know. I was waiting for you guys to jump in. It's your show. It's your show.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, no, like I just like I thought the stars for the Oilers were fine, but like McDavid was all right, but I just didn't see a lot of McDavid and when it mattered most. Late in games and Game 5 and Game 6 when they really needed a goal and they just I know he scored 1, but it was like it was 3-1 at that point. Like you gotta get game breaking goals, and they didn't get enough of that.
I just think from back to your argument, you're arguing with the guy that still thinks that home ice is an advantage, by the way. So just keep that in mind with who you're arguing with. And the Panthers
Graham,
who won the cup? Where'd they win it?
Okay. You mean I have a stat.
How many road wins did the Panthers have?
Hang on, I got a better one for you. They became. Is this one of my C's? Because I don't want to give it away. Okay, it is not. But one Florida stat for you. They became the 3rd team in NHL history to win the cup after winning 4 series as the lower seed. They joined the 1995 Devils and the 2012 Kings.
They
in
never
accomplishing
had
that feat.
home ice advantage, Graham. Did you
Never.
hear that?
Never had home ice. And then I should put this in the bin, but I will mention that Matthew Tkachuk came out and said that the hardest round that they had was the first round against Tampa Bay. Because it's when he felt the worst.
Oh, it looked like it.
What an absolute dick.
He's like, other than the first round, and
he knows what he's doing.
He knows exactly what he's doing. Fuck that guy. God,
so funny, so funny. Shout out to him.
Shit.
Also, the Panthers became the second team in NHL history to score multiple first-period goals in 6 or more consecutive games within one postseason. They joined the 1988 Detroit Red Wings in accomplishing that feat. Wow. So they started early, they started often, and that was honestly kind of the backbone of this run. Is they'd get out to a lead early, and then they just let Bob do Bob things, and they would forecheck you. And what do they say? They're like a python. They'll just suffocate you to death. Anaconda.
Python works too, though.
Whatever it is, right? So
they both do the same thing to kill their prey.
Exactly. Yeah, they'll constrict you. You just can't breathe. Anyway, shout out to Hannah and Cam in the chat. We appreciate you guys being here. Let's see. Other than that, another fun fact. We talked about this a little bit last episode, but the Panthers spent more time leading in this series than any previous team in Stanley Cup final history. Ending total for them was 255 minutes and 49 seconds. And that is a new Stanley Cup final record for the Oilers leading in a series.
I don't even think they led for 40 minutes. I think it's still in the 30s.
I think it is in the 30s.
That is absolutely astounding.
I just did the math. That's 12 and 3/4 periods where they played with the lead.
Yeah.
Jesus. Out of 6 games. So that's over half the series. Over half the series they played with the lead.
And they played, 3 overtime games?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So
I really thought Edmonton would put up more of a fight. Like that, I really thought that was theirs to take, man. Oh my god.
And the Panthers blew a 3-0 lead in game.
It could have been over in 5.
Yeah, game 4.
It should have been over in 5, based 100%. On the way they played. That team is the best team in the league for the next 5 years, and it's not fair.
You're getting ahead of me. That's my last question. Don't get ahead of me yet. I do have a great question for you. Let's see. Panthers are also, they scored 92 goals this postseason, Graham, to your point, being the highest scoring team, but they are the first team in 32 years to break the 90 mark in a postseason. Wow. So pretty good, because they only played 5 games the first round. They played 7 the second round. They played 5 the third round. So, and then they played 13. They played 23 games and scored 93 goals total.
Is that good?
92 goals, excuse me. That's pretty good. So I can do the math on that. Let's see. And the Florida became the third team in the salary cap era to win back-to-back Stanley Cups. So pretty good. And you talk about depth earlier. The Panthers are tied for the most 15-point players on a single team in one single playoff run, and they had 9 different players at 15 points or more. Yeah, do you want to name 9 of them? You want to name all 9?
Okay. Bennett, Marchment, Barkov, Reinhardt.
Yep.
Jones.
Nope.
No.
Oh, okay.
Cody's up. You missed.
Verhaeghe.
Yes.
5. Lundell.
Yep. Lundell is on the list.
Luostarinen.
Yep.
Not Forsling.
Nope.
No. I got Marchand. I got their whole top 9.
Cody, you got it?
I think I'm missing one.
You get that last name?
It's not Rodriguez.
I don't.
It is Rodriguez.
Okay.
I mean, it's Rodriguez.
Nice.
Nice.
I
got that.
Well done. And then also it was the third time in the expansion era a team beat the same opponent in consecutive Stanley Cup finals. The first time was Montreal over St. Louis in 1968, 1969, and then Montreal again over Boston in 1977 and 1978. So was this the most dominant playoff run that we've ever seen from a Stanley Cup champion?
Might be.
Maybe.
Okay, I need yes or no.
It's got to be top 5. I'll say that. It's got to be top 5. This was impressive.
I think especially, go ahead.
I was just going to, especially given the records that you just cited. They shattered 2 or 3 records I didn't even know existed. So
I was just going to say that the one that sticks out to me is that Colorado 2022 run. They lose 4 games, I think, the entire run or something, 3 games or something. What was it?
I thought it was more than that.
They lost.
It was a good run. It was a good run.
They lost 4 games. It was 2 to Nashville, or no, 2 to St. Louis and then 2 to Tampa, and that was it.
Oh no, you're right. Yes,
and they swept Nashville.
That is
yes.
correct. Only 4 losses. That is correct.
That's incredible. That's pretty wild.
Yeah. Only.
So do we think the 2024 Panthers would beat the 2025 Panthers, or do we think the 2025 Panthers would beat the 2024 Panthers?
I think 25 beats 24.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. Well, there it is. If I were to tell you there were 2 guys that outscored Zetterlund at even strength goals, or even strength points, not goals, but even strength points for the entire playoffs, do you think you can name both of them?
Well, Marchment's definitely one of them.
Nope, he is not.
His line mate?
No, Zetterlund was 3rd in all of NHL playoffs this season in points on even strength points. And there was only 2 players in the playoffs that had more even strength points than Zetterlund.
Wait, can I guess? Can I guess?
Yeah, this is open to everybody.
McDavid and Draisaitl?
That is correct. That is literally correct.
No way.
Guys, I swear to God, those are the only 2 guys that had more even strength points.
That's a fun stat. I like that.
That's great.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, they always mention that third line. Tampa had, a run to the cup.
They don't have a third line. They have a 1A, 1B, and 1C.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a line that plays a little less minutes.
Yeah. Like, shut up.
Well, I do like, I don't know if you guys saw the clip where Maurice put the 4th line on the ice for the last shift of the game.
You mean the second line? Because there's 1A, 1B, 1C, and then 2.
Anyway. Well, it's coming from the saltiness, because this is like the line that started their comeback against Toronto.
No, I don't hate you.
So thought that was pretty cool. And then how they did the whole cup rotation, I thought was kind of cool. The first year guys got to go and everything. So shout out to them. Speaking of
looks fun.
Speaking of captains too, Sasha Barkov became the first European captain to lead his team to back-to-back Stanley Cup Finals wins. He's also the first player in NHL history to win the Selke and the Stanley Cup Finals in back-to-back seasons. So shout out to him.
Say the first to do that, Selke and Cups. Oh wow, that's cool.
And back-to-back seasons. Yeah, so he's a 2-time Selke, 2-time Cup winner, and then he is the all-time leading point getter in Florida Panthers playoff history with 81 points. So, Can you tell me who's second?
Is it Reinhardt?
No. Good guess though.
Current Panther?
Correct.
Ooh.
Bennett?
Well, then it's got to be Bennett, right?
Nope.
Lundell.
No. Graham, you got to guess.
Luosterainen. Because he's got all the... No, all right.
Graham, you got to guess? No, it is Carter Verhaeghe. Carter Verhaeghe was the answer we were looking for. Good try. That's right. We'll get there.
If you gave me overtime game-winning goals, I would have guessed Verhaeghe. Because he has to be first. He's got like 7 of them.
He's got so many game winners for them for sure. And then speaking of Carter, actually, we'll get to the Paul Maurice stat. Actually, no, we won't. We'll skip that one. Speaking of Carter Verhaeghe, it was a great transition, by the way. He became the 6th active NHLer with 3 cups. Can you guys name the other 5? There are 6 total with Carter Verhaeghe. Can you name the other 5 active players that have 3 cups?
I actually can, so I will let you guys go first.
There are 5 players with 3 cups.
There are 3.
Patrick Kane.
Patrick Kane is one of them. That is correct.
Okay.
Crosby
is one of them. That is correct.
Yep.
Tang.
Yep.
One more.
There is one more.
3 cups. I'm trying to think of who's had.
Well, I think he just retired, so it doesn't count. But Maroon.
No. Nope.
Okay.
No, active.
I
didn't say actively retired. I said active.
Hey, he just retired. He just retired. It's on the fence.
For the sake of podcasting, give us a little hint.
He wears a mask.
Oh, it's a goal.
Quick. Wait, no.
Yes.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's it.
Nice job. There it is.
Where'd you get the third one? Vegas?
Yeah, I think it's Vegas.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Well done. Cam had Stamkos in the chat. Stamkos only won 2, unfortunately.
Only won 2.
What an idiot.
Yeah, I know. What a loser.
What a loser. You're a loser.
Oh man, but yeah, the Florida Panthers back-to-back champions. Real quick, we'll run through the injury list because I was doing a little bit digging on this. So obviously, we all know the big one, Matthew Tkachuk. He was dealing with a sports hernia and a torn abductor muscle on the same side of his body, which is literally just insane. If you haven't seen his post-game speech or his interview when he's on the ice talking about it, he's basically like, yeah, I was a dickhead to everybody for the first couple weeks of this injury, which I can only imagine how much pain that has to be, how much discomfort, because I don't know if you know what your adductor is. It's literally the muscle that connects to your pelvic bone. That's literally like right in your groin area. So he like ripped that completely off his pelvic bone.
Can you show me?
No, I can't right now. I can show you on our other chat after dark. You have to pay for that one though. Subscribe to Brock's OnlyFans. We also had Sasha Barkov. He was dealing with an open wound or open cut on the palm of his hand that he required stitches and had sutures torn out twice.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the
they ended up
photos,
super gnarly photo.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the photo, it's pretty friggin' gnarly.
Yeah, to Graham's point, they did end up super gluing the hand shut because that was literally the only thing I could get to stick, which is insane. Yeah. Sam Reinhart played through a MCL sprain. It didn't seem to affect him very much in Game 6, but he did sustain that in the Eastern Conference Finals as well. And then Ryan Nugent-Hopkins played through a broken hand. He sustained that, obviously. I think he said in Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals. And then just for add insult to injury, the Oilers didn't have Zach Hyman due to a dislocated wrist. That was thanks to Mr. Marchment. From the from the Western Conference Finals. Brock, are the Panthers set up to be a dynasty? Because we haven't seen a 3-time Stanley Cup champion since 1980 to 84, and that was the Islanders who won 4 straight. So tell me why the Panthers are going to be a dynasty and win their 3rd cup next year.
No. I got to quibble with your word choice here, Captain. You said to be. No, we're in it. They are a dynasty. We're smack.
But you got to win 3. You got to win 3 before you're a dynasty.
No.
Yeah,
we are in the middle of a dynasty. They are going to be the best team in the league. Definitely the best team in the East. For
everybody in the chat, I want to hear your comments on if you have to win 2 championships or 3 championships to be considered a dynasty. But continue.
I'm going to say, frankly, the consensus isn't going to help you here. Like, the Panthers, when you look at the way they're constructed, like with Barkov leading the way at 10 million, Reinhardt's not even making 9. Luosterainen's not even making, not Luosterainen, Forsling's not even making 6. Lundell's making 5. Like, what the fuck? How are you going to beat them? If they spend to the cap every year, how do you beat them? Bobrovsky's off the books next year. After I could see them re-signing him for fucking league min, knowing this team, because Sam Bennett's contract's about to be fucking stellar. Sorry, this has devolved into a rant about how I hate.
The Sam Bennett contract's gonna piss you off.
It's gonna piss you off. I promise. It's gonna be in Florida. It's gonna be. I said this already. It's gonna be like 7.99999, just so it's not 8, just to absolutely drive you nuts.
Well, like in a non-income tax state, 7 is 9 basically.
Oh, but no, income tax doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Oh man. Well, so the chat, there's Hannah's in the chat saying you got to win 3. Cam Ward says I feel like it's the same as becoming a serial killer. You got to have 3 to beat. So that's an interesting way to go about it.
That's good.
Hannah also mentioned that she could see Florida winning the cup next year already. We'll try not to get ahead of ourselves. There's no.
How could you not? How are they not your pick? How are they not your pick?
Because the Tampa Bay Lightning still exists. What do you mean?
Okay. So we got a Homer up in the corner here.
Right, Cody?
Somebody get this man back on the tracks. Back on the tracks here.
So everybody else agree with Brock, though? Are we? Is this literally? Are we in the middle of the dynasty? Is it a dynasty? I still don't think it's a dynasty yet. I think
it went cup final loss to 2 straight cups. It is dynasty.
Yes.
I think so too. Like, I agree with the 3 championships thing, but also like if you got the 2 and you've got a Stanley Cup final appearance right before that, like you're in the final 3 straight years. That's something.
I have a question for you, Dalton. Sorry to cut you off, Cody.
No, I was done. I was done.
I have a question for you. Were the Kings a dynasty from 2010 to 2015? Or 16? Sorry.
Yeah, I would also agree. I would also agree with the Hawks. But I would say the Hawks were a dynasty and not
right. But literally the years the Kings didn't go to the final, they lost to the fucking Hawks.
That's true.
Yeah, and
so they're not a dynasty because they lost to the Stanley Cup winner in every other year that they didn't go to the final. But every time they went to the final, they won.
It's not a dynasty unless you win 3 championships.
Is shaky at
that is the number that you have to get to be considered.
They can't Corey Perry their way into.
Correct. That is correct.
Oh, he kind of. So is Corey Perry a dynasty then, or what?
I was gonna say, no one's calling Corey Perry.
No, but Pat Maroon.
Pat Maroon is. This logic.
100%.
God.
He's a walking dynasty. So. Oh man! All right, well, go ahead and everybody put your bets in now. Apparently, according to Brock, that the Panthers are going to win the cup next year.
I'm going to kick you in the abductor. I swear to God.
Cam says maybe the Leafs will go further next year. Maybe not.
Okay, Cam, let's
We'll
not
see.
kick me while I'm down. I'm dealing with one idiot on the screen here.
Okay. Wow.
Okay, you're not an idiot, Cam. You're not an idiot, Cam. Don't take that personally. Don't take that personally.
Okay.
I saw something earlier today. I would love to take credit for this, but I can't. Corey Perry is a dynasty in Africa.
Yes. That was in our group chat as well.
I would love to take credit for that, but I just can't, unfortunately.
Oh man. Well, yeah, it's a great segue. So we will get negative on this podcast.
Okay.
It's time to put somebody in the bin. This is sponsored by Warlord Beard Oil, who is not in the bin, by the way. Got some great products. Make sure to check out their website, warlordbeardoil.com. Use the promo code OLDSPORTS for 15% off beard oils, washes, soaps, and more. I chuckle because I'm thinking like Hannah's in our chat right now, and I don't know if she needs any like beard oils or washes or soaps or anything, but maybe she's got a significant other. Whatever the case, if you do spend $75 or more, you do get free shipping on your order. So make sure to check out our friends at warlordbeardoil.com. Let them know that Between the Benches sent you. Graham, who are you putting in the bin this week?
Well, I feel like it's the only time I can do it, but I got to put McDavid in the bin.
Nice. Okay.
Only because the bar for McDavid is so high that this makes any sense.
That only he could have this stat. Yeah, here we go. Yeah.
With the Stanley Cup final loss, he has become the first player in NHL history to have 9 straight 90-point seasons and not win a cup in any of them. And he is the only captain in the last 50 years to lose back-to-back cups in the finals.
R.I.P.
Man, it's tough competing against yourself. You know what I mean? Like when your legacy is so good already and you're just competing against yourself, that's got to be like the toughest thing.
And the games they lost, he was pointless.
Wow.
Not like useless, but no points.
I think most people understood that.
People come after me for something that I say. That is not one of them.
Clarification. Graham's pre-arguing with the Hurricanes fans.
Literally.
Yeah.
Cody, by the way, Hurricanes TikTok is not a fan of Graham whatsoever.
No. There.
What he just did was him arguing with the Hurricanes fans in the chat.
That's hilarious.
He gave them a backhanded compliment, or what they deemed was a backhanded compliment. And they were not fans of him. So if
I was a fan. They were.
You can send it to you or something. But
that's funny. I'll definitely check it out. Hannah also wants to put an honorable mention in the bin. She wants to put the Panthers in the bin for damaging the Stanley Cup in the 48 hours
good
they've
call.
had it.
I can get with that.
Great bin. That's a great bin.
Yeah, great call.
No, Hannah, it's in the bin.
Puck over glass. You have to call it.
Yeah, you got to call it. Yeah,
that's fair. Did you see they're pouring like at the Elbow Room? I think is the name of the bar. Yeah. It's like the famous bar down there. They're pouring like cups of beer out of the cup on from the second story or the third story onto the people below, which I thought was just fascinating.
God, winning looks fun. God,
right?
So fun.
Oh.
They're in the bin for damaging Sir Stanley. So yeah, good call on that, Hannah. We did not have that on the outline, so good call.
No, that's in the bin. That's in the bin.
Big Canada Daddy, who are you putting in the bin this week?
Well, I probably should have went first because it would have segued nicely. We were talking about Corey Perry because I'm going to put Corey Perry in the bin. That is now 5 of the last 6 Cup finals that he has lost. And I think you said it nicely, the ultimate catch 22. It really is just rough. Like, he said he wants to play next year, right? I'm pretty sure he has.
He should go to Toronto.
I'm not. You watch your mouth. That the rock will go over there and slap them. I mean, I'm trying to put into words like it's a subtle stat. It's a simple stat. It's a really just shitty, unfortunate circumstance because if he does want to play next year, do you sign him?
Well, here's the other catch-22. If he doesn't bang Bedard's mom, does he ever end up in Edmonton to begin with?
I mean,
so the streak would have died.
As if he needed motivation to do that, Dalton.
Sure. Yeah, she's a nice lady. That's very true.
100%. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying one way. I'm just saying like the cosmic vacuum events that had to happen for that to partake. You know what I mean? For the streak to live on.
Fate is a fickle thing, Dalton.
It really is. You can't control it. Cam Ward is in the chat, by the way. He said, if it were me putting someone in the bin, it would be Culver's. I went there 5 times this week, and all 5 times they got my order wrong. But dang, is their frozen custard Good as ever.
You say, why do you keep going back?
That's true.
Why do you keep going back?
That would be my question. Is it the same Culver's location, or do we try different?
Bro loves the
different
disappointment.
locations? Yes,
Yeah.
multiple different locations. That'd be funny. Cody, did you have anybody in the
Sounds
bin?
like he's a Leafs fan, you know. They just keep running it back and just
Okay. Here comes Graham from the top rope. Kicking them while they're down.
The elbow drop up high.
Oh yeah. Cody, did you have anybody in the bin, or do you want me to go and buy you some
I
time?
actually do. This is a little selfish
he
here,
prepared.
but I did. I mean, no, I just thought of this like 3 minutes ago. But selfishly, I'd like to put the Edmonton crackhead that tried to shank me in the bin because you tried to fight me, and now your team lost. So now, what does that leave you with? Nothing.
Nice.
Someone tried to stab you?
Yeah, dude.
I think
Yeah,
they should
dude.
put them on a police report. Like,
Oh,
what are you
there's-
doing?
I no, this is way more. You know, this is way bigger than the police. So
Oh, okay.
the
Oh,
bin,
all
the
right.
bin is the thing.
Okay. I like
where
that.
he belongs.
About him.
I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
No,
Trash
but
guy.
no, there's a police.
Oh
report,
yeah, that's
so,
a good call. That's a
That
good
is a
call
good
for-
call.
Yeah,
for the Brendan.
Yeah. I read something about this. Like, could you imagine? Like, let's say they get found guilty of something here. What's the repercussion? This Mickey Mouse League has zero consistency when it comes to this shit. Like the Senators they had their 2026 taken away first rounder because of the lack of what was it in the Dodonov trade. They didn't put his 10 team no trade list or whatever, and because of that they get fined a first round pick.
Yeah.
But then you think about the Arizona Coyotes when they got fined their first round pick was
Multiple, I thought.
I don't think it was multiple, but they had, what did they do? They worked out, or they had
They had their own little combine.
yeah, with a couple of the guys, so they could find a first round pick. How are those two things the same? I don't know necessarily. I don't even necessarily think I agree with the first round pick fine, but maybe someone could logic that to me. But I don't know. I have zero confidence that even if they do find anything, we're going to be satisfied with this punishment, because if Evander Kane shouldn't have been playing, or should have been playing in the regular season, and they weren't cap compliant, what's the punishment going to be? They just lost in the final. What punishment fucking matters? It doesn't matter. It's going to be Mickey Mouse.
It's also a bad look on the NHL.
Absolutely.
They put in the lineup every game, and it's not caught.
This is stupid. This league.
This is a very matter of fact. I feel like this is a reaction more than being proactively.
Yeah.
Bettman needs to fucking retire. Jesus Christ.
I do have an update from Cam, by the way. He said he went to all different locations of Culver's.
Well, that tells me Culver's needs to be in the bin permanently.
Oh, so now
I'm never going there. Yeah.
This is fascinating. Oh man, I wonder if we get the same thing every time. But I digress. We'll get to my bin. So I've done this a couple times, and all for different reasons. And I just somehow it keeps finding my algorithm. I don't hate Buffalo by any means, but I just repeatedly put them in the bin.
Graham does.
So the Buffalo Sabres are my bin. So the players from the 2016-2017 season that finished with 78 points for the Buffalo Sabres, which was last in their division, I believe last in Eastern Conference that year. They've now gone on to combine for 11 Stanley Cup rings since then. So pretty good. Pretty good. Ryan O'Reilly's one of them. Reinhardt is another.
Mr. Eichel.
Jack Eichel is another one. So if they just would have been patient, they had it. They literally had.
I disagree with that 1,000%. This was not a patience error.
It wasn't a talent error, though. Come on, what are we talking about,
dude? They are still a good. You look at that roster. It's not the roster. It's something to do with the way the team is run. There's something rotten. There's something rotten in that organization.
Yeah,
it's never a coincidence when owners are bad, man. Look at where Arizona is right now. That's right. They're not there.
Right, they're in Utah. You're right. Well, first of all, do you think that's weird? They call it a brand new franchise when it's definitely not a brand new franchise. It's literally just a team moving from one place to another.
I'm not going to argue semantics with you.
Okay, that's fair. I appreciate that. Grant or Brock, do you think Game 7 for Edmonton is a must-win or can't lose?
There it is. There it is.
Yeah, big game tomorrow.
Big game tomorrow. Yep, big game tomorrow.
What were you going to say, Graham?
No, I was going to say a can't win, must lose. I was going to say, is it a can't win or a must lose?
I'm not arguing semantics with you. I'm not going to argue semantics with you.
All right. Well, fair enough. Well, that was In the Bin, brought to you by our friends at Warlord Beard Oil. Make sure to use the promo code OLDSPORTS for 15% off the beard oils, washes, soaps, and more. And make sure to get that $75 and get your free shipping as well. Well, we will get positive on this podcast, on this show. We're going to hand out the C for probably, is this the last time of season 1, guys, by the way? Because I think season 2 is we're obviously going to do the draft episode next Friday. Please join us. We have a lot of guests lined up for that episode to come on and chat about every team. Obviously, it's going to be on the clock and everything between. But does season 2 officially start after the draft?
I disagree. I think this offseason counts for this season. I don't think season 2 starts until puck drop next season. Or like preseason, like whenever the camps start rolling out. Whenever the next season starts, that's when our next season starts.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Okay, well, we'll see how that goes. Maybe we'll leave it up to the people to determine when. Because technically, July. When does the calendar league start? Is that July 1st? Like the calendar or the league?
The calendar turns over on July 1st. That's correct.
Okay, that's usually when like the fiscal stuff happens for a lot of businesses. So maybe I could argue with you. But you said you want to argue semantics. But we're going to give out the C, and this is brought to you by SeatGeek, our friends at SeatGeek. Make sure to download the SeatGeek app and use the promo code Old City Sports Network for $20 off your first purchase. It's basically baseball season now, so maybe check out a baseball game on behalf of your friends here between the benches. WNBA season's going on. That's kind of fun. So check it out. Use our friends at SeatGeek and use that promo code Old City Sports Network for $20 off your first purchase. Brock, big Canada Daddy.
Yes.
Who are you giving your C to this week?
Well, this is frankly the easiest C I'm ever going to give out. Like, this is layup worthy. Paul Maurice is the first head coach in major sports history, so the NFL, MLB, NBA, and NHL, to win multiple championships after winning none in his first 25 seasons. We'll give that a grand fa. That's just fantastic. You know, like, you love to see good people have success. I think Graham and I have mentioned on this pod before that we've had the pleasure of meeting Paul Maurice. He is a wonderful human being. He can spin a yarn, I'll tell you that. Great storyteller. Yeah.
Maybe we get him on this podcast. Is that what you're telling me?
We can try. Hey, you remember Urbana, Ohio? Where?
Anyway.
I'll have my people call his people.
Yes, that would be great. We'd love to have him on. Maybe a day of the Cup. That would be great. He could join us.
Hell yeah.
That would be sick.
Paul Maurice, then the Cup. That'd be dope.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if Sasha Barkov's taking it to his neighbor's house, like, come on.
Fucking awesome video.
Great video.
Fantastic. Oh, my God. I want to be Sasha Barkov's neighbor so bad.
Maybe we should give him the C.
I'd walk out the door and hand the man a beer.
That's why he has the C.
Yes. Yes.
Do you think he lives in an HOA? Do you think? Do you think it's like that? That'd be so funny. He's like the head of the HOA. Anyway, those people suck, by the way. If you live in an HOA, you let people.
Did you say Barkov sucks?
No, I said HOAs suck.
Flip it.
Yeah.
Flip it.
Yeah, flip it. Graham, who'd you want to give your C to?
Well, I hope Cam's still in this chat right now because I know his Culver's hatred and Dairy Queen is going to get this C.
Nice.
This is fucking
nice.
Fun. This is.
I mean, we've all seen Marchment and the DQ.
Oh yeah.
But it's rumored that the Florida Panthers racked up over a $38,000 DQ bill after winning the Cup.
Fucking nuts.
And not one order got messed up.
That's
not one order.
Nice. Nice.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to make a graphic of that. Do you know where'd you find that stat, by the way? Do you know?
I took a screenshot. I gotta find it.
Okay, yeah. Let me know because I'd like to make a graphic for our Instagram because I have yet to see that stat anywhere. So like if we could find that's actually true.
I wonder if Graham got punked.
$38,000.
I really hope this is true. I guess is what I'm saying because that's a fun stat.
I don't think it is, but I have to believe it is.
Yeah, I want to believe it's true. I want to believe it's true. That's so much ice cream.
Blizzard. Yeah, I was gonna say, what's the average cost of a blizzard? Like $4? Like, oh my god, it's so many blizzards.
Oh, bro, up here that's
15-year-old kids working.
Yeah, it's like $10 now.
Yeah, it's $10 in Canada.
Like 40 hours trying to get these blizzards ready.
They could literally open a new DQ franchise with $38,000. I feel like
it's just so unbelievable that I want it to be like true. Like it's just like
imagine being the next car behind that.
Oh my god. And you get a blizzard, and you get a blizzard.
Do you think they were dicks too, and like showed up at like 10 minutes before closing time? You know what I mean? Like they closed at 9, they got to like 8:50.
Yeah, I hope so.
That would be no, just that would fit the term of rats. You know what I mean? Like even if they were, that's how I would describe them. But oh man, Cody, did Did you have a C that you wanted to give out?
I do actually. I got a shout out to my to one of my goats, Roberto Luongo, 2-time Stanley Cup champion now.
Nice.
I don't want to hear that he's not a player. I don't care. He's a 2-time Stanley Cup champion. That's all that matters. Shout out to Roberto Luongo.
Yeah, and he's banging the drum, baby. That's right. He was banging the drum. He was also, I believe, now the Panthers are 4-0 all time when a former player bangs on the pregame drum in the postseason. So shout out to them.
They have the formula.
Exactly, and they got the Dairy Queen too. So I don't know what else you could want. Well, good C. No, I like that. Well, I wanted to give the C to Seth Jones because with the Panthers winning the Stanley Cup final, he became the first player on the Stanley Cup with the first name Seth. So shout out to Seth Jones. He's also like one of the most hated men here in Chicago. He does not have a lot of friends here. And I guess I understand a little bit, but some of the slander of like, oh, he didn't do much or anything like that. Like if you go look at the stats, he was plus 12.
It was his fault. Yeah,
he was like literally. Yeah, they're saying that he was like one of the worst assistant captain that the Hawks have ever had, like all this other stuff.
Get your fucking head read. That's
like I said, it's just like I said, I'm not here to defend the human, but the player Seth Jones was phenomenal. He was intricate in their run to the Stanley Cup. He led the team on time on ice. He actually was on the ice for the most goals for the Florida Panthers. I think when he was on the ice, they scored 40 goals, and I think the next closest was like 36 or 35. So for a different player, I can't remember who it was, but first time. That's pretty good. First time Seth Jones, so shout out to him. First Seth to ever be named on the Stanley Cup for his first name, and that was Get the C, brought to you by our friends over at SeatGeek. Make sure to use the promo code Old City Sports Network for $20 off your first purchase and check out a sporting event thanks to your friends here between the benches. So, well, guys, it's a pretty good episode. I've got that's all the notes that I had.
Cody, thanks for joining.
Yeah,
thanks
Cody,
for letting me be here. Oh my goodness, the entire show.
We'll have to hook you up. We'll have to hook you up with our friend Mike. That's the next person that Graham's got to meet because Graham likes to.
I do think it's funny that you met Cody before Mike. It is. That
is kind of funny.
It's fate.
So, what is really funny too, because the only way we met Cody was literally through a reel that we made on our social media team that went viral, and that's how Cody found us.
Which one?
The Shifley one.
Oh, yeah, I asked that last time too. Yeah.
That is correct. Yeah, you like to. Oh my God, we have Jen Fa in the chat. Shout out to Jen Fa.
Jen. Hi, Jen.
So,
hi, Jen.
But we, I think that about wraps this up. We appreciate you joining us, Cody. Make sure to absolutely anytime we got Dallas news. You're our go-to guy.
Let's go.
That. You signed the contract, so anytime that we call you, you have to come on.
You have to answer.
Done. Absolutely.
That is correct. By the way, guys, you guys probably don't follow Cody on social media, but he will literally break news naked. So this guy loves hockey. He loves the Dallas Stars.
Dude, gotta get that news out there, man.
Yeah, you gotta set the tone when you're, putting the things out there. I get it.
It's like a Kevin Weeks moment, like it doesn't matter where you are, like you're there, you got to do it.
Oh man! Well, we appreciate everybody joining us in the chat. I do have another comment here. What we got? What team do you all support? Oh, this is nice, Mr. Magic. Okay,
Magic.
Well,
okay.
If you couldn't tell, Cody's a Dallas Stars
big Colorado fan, actually. Massive.
Nice.
Oh man! And then honestly, Graham. I mean, you can tell by Graham too with the background.
Yeah. Graham, you can guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Brock, by your attitude, we could definitely tell what team you root for. By your pessimistic outlook on life, you could definitely tell what team you root for.
In case that wasn't obvious, Mr. Magic, it's the Leafs.
Yeah, and then I'm repping Tampa, the real Florida championship team. So
yeah, how many games did they last?
Well, they lost to the eventual Stanley Cup champions, which still means that they're a dynasty, according to you.
Oh,
so the Tampa Bay Lightning dynasty hasn't even ended. So how can we even talk about the Florida Panthers one starting? I don't understand how we even got there. So, man. Well, we do appreciate everybody. Yes, literally. We appreciate everybody joining us. Make sure to check us out next Friday. We will be starting that live. Probably right around draft time. I think it starts at 6:30 Central Time or 7:30 Eastern.
I have no
That's the
Both
same
are the
time,
same
literally.
incident. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
it's literally the
is-
same time. I'll double check on that. Make sure to follow us on the Instagram, the TikTok, everything in between. That's where I'll be putting out all of the posts leading up to that for the draft night. Like I said, we've got a lot of representatives lined up to join us. And guys, anybody want to sign us off before we go?
Nope.
Nice. All right. Love you guys. And that concludes this week's episode of Between the Benches. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and check us out on YouTube. Also hit the like and subscribe button and look out for the next episode. Until next week, your Harley Riders.
Doc, what a fitting ending! This is incredible!